guy named Whole Foods, who was supposed to, be, on our side on this stuff, and dress up in your biohazard suits and go in there and get some GM stuff, and you go to the store and try to bring it back. And say, hey, listen, I don't want this GM genetically modified stuff in here. In India, GM crops have been totally disastrous. And they're bankrupting a lot of small farmers because they just haven't worked with the peasant farmers in India. Over the past 16 years, 250,000 small farmers have committed suicide. That's one suicide every 30 minutes. And the preferred method of suicide, anybody know?
Pesticide.
Yeah, they drink Monsanto. Yeah, that's a statement if I've heard one. But anyway, I never got back to the rally.
Get back to the rally.
Well, I got back to the rally, and I learned that Monsanto was using Blackwater to investigate the GM activists.
Oh.
So it's getting really scary. Well, here's one of the funniest things I've heard for a long time. You've all probably heard it on the marketplace and the NPR radio program. Support for marketplace comes from Monsanto, committed to sustainable agriculture, creating hybrid and biotech seeds designed to increase crop yield and conserve natural resources. I mean, this isn't a prime example of greenwashing. It's so funny that they would call it themselves in support of sustainable agriculture. Yeah, right. Anyway, and another thing I want to say was that there's this revolving door between the Monsanto company and the high government officials. For example, new head of the FDA and food safety czar, none other than Michael Taylor, an ex-Monsanto vice president. Or Supreme Court Justice Mike Clarence Thomas, an ex-Monsanto lawyer. And EPA, I mean, the government is packed full of Monsanto employees. They go to Monsanto for a while, then they go to the government for a while, and then go back to work for Monsanto a while, and they help push all this stuff through the Monsanto process. So I could go on and on about this company, but suffice to say, if this planet is going to survive, people like this has got to be stopped. So, but how do we do that? In a non-violent way. I've got a plan. I got this idea from Mahatma Gandhi. Okay, when he was battling the British, trying to get them out in a non-violent way, one of his main tools was the spinning wheel. So India was really dependent on Great Britain for their textile industry. They got their cloth from there. So they all went and dug out their old spinning wheels that had been up in the attic for ages and ages, and started spinning their own homespun cloth. The way Gandhi would say it, even if you just have one little loincloth and it's homespun, it's better than the finest suit you could buy from England. And this really caught on. You wouldn't think people would do this, but they did. And they boycotted Great Britain, and the textile mills over there started shutting down and laying off workers, and it became really obvious that England was dependent on India, not the other way around. So, through this and other forms of non-cooperation, they liberated their country from foreign rule without ever a shot being fired. So in the same way, we can use gardens as a tool to fight for independence from corporate rule. And by growing our own food, in effect, we're boycotting those who would gain control of us by controlling our food system. Whether it's a jar of or a window box, or a garden, or a farm, it's each person's sacred duty to get their hands in the earth and grow some food. This is probably the most revolutionary thing you can do in these times. And you don't even have to break the law. In most places, it's totally legal. But you do want to check with your city ordinances, because 2 weeks ago, I heard of a lady in Michigan who now faces 92 days in jail for growing vegetables in her front yard. Yeah. So if we could, in great enough numbers, become self-sufficient in our food supply, we could definitely break this chain of corporate domination. And we can further boycott these agribusiness companies by buying those foods that we don't grow ourselves from local, sustainable, small farms. So gardening is what we want to do anyway. It's a win-win situation. Gardens are cheaper, they taste better, they're more ecologically sound because there's very little fossil fuels involved, and a lot fresher than anything you're gonna get at the store or even at the farmer's market. In fact, you know, if you want total freshness, you can eat the plants, you can eat your vegetables while they're still on the plant. Okay, that sounds pretty strange or crazy. But hey, isn't this what raw foods is all about? Going back to how the rest of nature does it. That's how the rest of nature does it. They don't have a thumb and four fingers. So I like to do it. I like to pretend, you know, I just got paws or something. And nibble on these things right in the garden. That is freshness. But if you try this at home, I warn you, probably best not to let your neighbors see you doing it.
I have to look at them do what they do.
They think you're a little off because you're diet anyway, so you can confirm there. But anyway, I got a ton of respect for John Clover, the guy who put this event on, because his main mission is to educate and encourage people about gardening. So many of the world's problems would just disappear if we all grew gardens. And even if you're 100% raw vegan, you can vastly improve your diet by growing your own food. It's real fun. You know, there's going to be disappointments along the way. You know, like my button says here, gardening is a matter of trial and error. but one of the secrets I've learned for gardening, and really helps me in my gardening, is that crop covers, not cover crop, but crop covers. And okay, they're plastic, but you know, you get these rolls of wire, and you just clip the wire, so you get this automatic little arch. And you just stretch those crop covers off over what you're growing, and it protects your crop from marauding plants, marauding insects and animals. It provides shelter from the heat and cold and the wind, and they extend your growing season, like a month earlier and a month later. So I also want to talk about dates a little bit now, but first, is there any questions on anything I've talked about so far? Yeah.
Oh, Jamie, great talk, and I hesitate to say it because I want, you know, but you have the best dates ever. They're beyond. I'm so grateful. Yeah.
Well, thank you.
To have you guys in my life. So my husband is an urban farmer. He's also a beekeeper, right smack dab in the middle of an urban environment.
Yeah,
and he does go out and eats right out of the garden. You know, and I have said, you know, it's like only, what is it, the strongest survive. Those that can grow their own food are going to be the ones that are going to survive.
Yeah.
If you can't feed yourself, you're screwed.
Yeah.
So,
Ultimate security.
right, but that being said, and I have, you know, in all these bills, was it AD 510, wait, was that the one?
There's been a number.
Anyway, and I'm always, you know, because I get, you know, emails from these groups, and I do, and it doesn't seem to be very effective. But right now, today, if I was to go home and get on my computer, who would I be writing a letter to or a message to about what thing is relevant right now?
Well,
And also, the other thing I wanted to say, sorry, holding that thought. I had, you know, probably, I don't know, I think it was a little bit of a false hope. I thought, well, Michelle Obama is, you know, coming into this whole gardening, and I think she's into the organic, and I thought maybe they'll all kind of be an influence, but.
They're part of the same machine.
She's teaming up with Walmart.
Huh?
She's
Oh.
teaming up with Walmart.
and that
On
might be
food.
greenwashing too. One of these things where, oh, we're all into our game, just like Monsanto says they're supportive of sustainable agriculture. I mean, they know that this is a big thing that's very important to people and the movement that people love. And so, of course, they're going to say, I'm an organic farmer.
Yeah.
But really, what are they doing? Really, you know,
Yeah, and also, I'll be honest with you, and I like what you said, like, when I go to the farmer's market, I don't care if they have a sign that says, I could care less. All I care about is, you need to be honest with me how you're growing your stuff. I don't care about, because it seems like now that everybody's on this organic bandwagon, that the standards are being changed.
yeah, they're trying to lower the standards.
Either lowering and a little thing here and there, and not so much of that, and.
Yeah, yeah.
So I really, to be honest with you, don't care about third-party certification
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, know your farmers, that's the best guarantee you can have.
But going back to my question about, you know, how to take.
Oh, yeah, okay. So good contact, well, you know, if you're into, you know, in political system, you believe in that, you know, like you want to contact your senators and congressmen, and I tried that, you know. I've lost faith in them. It seems like they're all not, maybe not all, I don't say all, but the vast majority are bought and paid for by the corporate interests. And that's just the way it is, and, you know, we're not giving them any money.
So you're saying, your approach is don't even go there,
I
just
say
grow
don't
your
go
own food, make friends with other people growing something else, and then be done with it.
That's right, yeah. I would say avoid all that stuff. It's worth a try, but, you know,
If they get enough letters
Yeah.
and emails and phone calls, they'll pay, and that's the only thing
That's
that
right.
stops
Yeah,
these things
yeah,
when these
if it's
votes
enough.
come up.
yeah.
If continually people will do that, take
Yeah.
the pain in the neck to do it, I get burnt too, but I just keep
Yeah.
sending the emails.
The one time when it didn't work was back when the,
SR,
what was that?
file.
Let me think about, how was that? They were, the National Organic Standards. They wanted to include, when they first wrote that bill in 2002, genetically engineered crops and source sludge was part of it. Okay, so everybody really got outraged about that, and we sent our letters in and stuff, and they did have to change that. So sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't work.
It's a collective